Skills is the principal obstacle to labor markets, this resulting in high unemployment across different age groups. The empowerment of young men and women, another issue that African governments need to address. Speaking to the SABC after the deliberations at the AU session on gender, the Deputy Minister in the Presidency, Buti Manamela, says youth representation in all spheres of governance is very important.
Look, I mean, the central issue that's coming out from young people is the fact that we are underrepresented in legislation, in governance, in business, and in all areas of life. And when young people are the majority in the continent, and young people are beginning to say that we've got to be put on the agenda, and the only way in which we can be put on the agenda is if we are, part of the system. So the question of representativity came in. But I think most importantly is what are African countries doing to invest in young people so that we're able to harvest and harness the demographic dividend. And I think, what is coming out quite strongly is the need for agent intervention and investment in education and skills development, in youth development programs, in designing youth policies, in designing institutions that are able to take forward the needs and interests and aspirations of young people. And I think that came out quite sharply from the declaration of the pre-summit discussions. And I think finally, the issues that relates to the situation of young women in particular, issues around sexual harassment, issues around sexual exploitation, early marriages, genitalia mutilation. All of those were some of the issues that were coming out strongly that young people are saying we have to, stand up against these issues. Part of the discussions that we're beginning to engage into is what type of institutions do we build so that we harness Africa's future youth leadership. The reality is that if we do not listen to what's coming out of Davos, which is what the pre-summit was saying, investing into the fourth generation, we will actually miss the gap. So there is no or very little done to invest into an African produced cell phone or computer or laptop or anything of the sort. And I think that's where many of the participants at the pre-summit were beginning to say that if we do not invest into all of those things, Africa would still be left behind. And that's and I think for me that's very exciting that we're beginning to see that type of engagement with those sort of issues.